Hey there, this is Heimdall's Watch, brought to you by Isolated City Gaming. This episode is brought to you by the $6.30 we found stuck between the couch cushions. Now, on with the show.
No, I was going to say, I was very much in the moment with the whole drunken tear last session, and I don't really remember specifically what I said in it, which I think works, and don't really remind me.
Okay.
That's for the court to sort out.
Yeah. I'm like going, what did I actually admit to, and how did that conversation go? I don't really remember. Well, that works.
Okay, so last session you guys got back to town. Hana
Left town.
ripped in and then basically left real quick after talking with your sister and making arrangements for arrangements.
Nah, see?
Just a nice, civil, harmless conversation. Just a little catch-up between sisters.
Leland's whole deal was
A caper.
there was an entire caper, and once I finally get to editing that one, there's going to be some Mission Impossible or Ocean's 11 sort of music in the background, I'm sure.
Yeah, like...
And then occasional sad trombone.
That was just a bit the ending of it. It was just like the Curb Your Enthusiasm little thing.
I think means like the Mission Impossible music, and then like at the points where it fucks up each time, just record scratch.
And that's when I realised I fucked up.
And Poppet went around discovering the joys of music.
Yes. Met a tiefling.
Sorry?
Met a tiefling.
Yeah, met a tiefling who gave you a coin, if I remember right.
I didn't even have to add more friendship here.
Did you actually go a session without having to try and use your...
Yes.
Oh.
Plan 4. We're proceeding to plan 4.
It's been more efficient plan, let's be honest.
And then we finished up with Leland in a drunken stupor.
It's in
times.
Grant's bedroom.
In his office.
His office.
It's not,
Oh, it wasn't
it's
entirely.
very
his-
late.
Thought he was going to someone's room. It was actually a painting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a very ornate painting of a door for no reason.
We've all been there.
Same, actually.
about that part of it. Ah!
Good times.
So that was your day. Oh, of course, Hana had the whole... met with Graylin and started the whole...
Starting to
process.
unlock unlimited power.
Yes, unlimited power.
And by limited, I mean very, very limited. And finite.
Oh, I did a thing, and if this is dodgy, just tell me, like, cut it out.
Probably.
When I level up each time, I can swap out one of my spells and put it in a new one.
Yep.
And when I did the level up last week, I forgot to
Yep.
do that. So I just, when I was looking at it today, I swapped out one of my spells and put a different one in there. Which is, yeah. Because I didn't get another spell at that level, which is usually when I do that. So yeah, I just swapped out
Plus,
one
you-
of the ones
you
I've
did-
never used for a different one that I'll probably never use.
So, I'll throw it to you guys. Who wants to go first?
James does.
Not here.
Got him.
What's going on, guys?
See, I think I'll start with you because your one is
That's
very...
not how the nose thing
yours is
works.
very time sensitive.
It was the largest car I could afford.
Well, we've just headed into the night, so I believe things happen at night for you.
Yes, but the way technology and time works, that you can go back and forth and do whatever you want. Story.
No, linear progressions only.
Oh, shit. Rip. What's been too much and everyone's dead?
Nobody ate for the last 2 weeks. We all died.
Got dysentery on the...
New characters!
You got dysentery. Give me the watch.
5 minutes in, we are focused.
Always focused. Never not focused.
Okay. You are in
Yeah.
the forest with Graylin.
If I remember correctly.
He was doing the whole sort of guided meditation
Yeah, like
into
I
the
hear, like, the-
forest and started to feel like the forest
I was
was
one with the squirrels.
the one with the squirrels. Essentially, like you could sort of almost feel like the pulse of the forest was
I'm
sort
gonna
of
be
matching
the
your
world's
own.
worst druid. It's going to be amazing.
Gonna be a druid running around with 2 fucking swords because apparently the metal thing just doesn't seem to matter to you at all.
I like the forest. Stab, stab, stab.
What's this tree doing?
I'm
here?
returning. I'm just fulfilling the circle of life, druid.
Druid
First you
thing.
live, then you get stunned by a drow, then you die.
Balance.
Synergy.
Okay. So you sort of open your eyes back up after that sort of realization that your own pulse that you could sort of hear in your ears, just the blood flowing within your ears, it was sort of matching with the rhythm of the forest around you. Open your eyes with, I'll probably say, probably the first time you've actually had like a truly bewildered look on your face. This is not something you have ever experienced. Your whole concept of the forest is, why is this thing here? It should be a parking lot.
Pave over it, build more shopping malls.
Or it should be a cave entrance into the Underdark.
Or a murdatorium.
A murdatorium. So, this whole matching your pace with the forest is, yeah, a very foreign experience to you.
Yosh.
And at this point, I think we're looking at, because I think, yes, I said you had about 7 hours when you arrived, 6 hours when you arrived before having fun times.
Because we got there in the day.
You arrived in dock in like the morning, if I remember right.
Yeah. Well, I
These
think
guys here had adventures during the day, and we're sort of catching you up now.
Yep, cool.
Ground's sort of looking you in the eyes like, you heard it, didn't you?
I did. I should probably say words. Can this be an audio medium rather than nod my head?
You can be mute. You can be a mute.
You can also just say, I nod.
I nod.
It normally takes most initiates months of sitting out here, brows on end, to even sort of catch a peep of this.
Well, I'm clearly talented.
Talented or just very primal. Also, very close to your change.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
If you're going to be attuned to it at any point, right about now is about as close as you can get to it before sort of the event horizon, I would say. Follow me. And he sort of starts leading you further down a path, further into the sort of the darker parts of the valley.
Guess I'll follow him.
You're like, yay, darkness. And about 5 minutes down the track, you start sort of... Actually, roll me a wisdom check.
Is it not a saver check?
Check.
4. Cool. Well, so you said, you said your wisdom here. And it's +2, cool. Yeah, 4.
No, he's just sort of leading you down this pathway, and it's getting sort of darker and darker, and then there's a
Smash into a tree.
really in tune with the forest. Ah, fucking forest. You end up down in this sort of grove in the base of the valley, and in the center there is a large boulder, which at this point you recognize as the one that you were chained to roughly 28 days ago. At this point, it's the sort of the pythons that have been driven into it are still sort of sitting there. The chains he starts pulling out of a pack that he's got in his bag and just sort of
The old werewolf rock worked so well before.
When I say chains, they're made of like toughened leather loops because he doesn't deal with metals.
And that's why you'll never succeed as a person or a race.
That's why you're here looking for our help.
Yeah, but then I'll claim it was all my idea.
How long do you think you've got? 7 hours until nightfall.
I reckon the fact that my hands are now basically claws and there's far too much hair everywhere. 4 to 5 hours. And all I really want to do is rend you from limb to limb. Maybe 3. But to be fair, I had that feeling about you before this happened anyway, so who knows?
Fair. Well, for the moment, we'll leave the restraints to the side. It's just
Well, the whole point of this, my little gnomish friend, is to have control of that. So I hope that we don't have to do that. Because I don't think I'll do it willingly.
this is somewhat of an accelerated course of study right now, so I'm not going to risk things. If things start getting a bit too close to night, and you haven't made 6 to 8 months worth of progress in 4 or 5 hours, well, I'm going to rely more on the chains than.
It didn't work the last time, but okay for you.
But take a seat. And he sort of motions to a sort of soft peaty section on the ground.
There's no chair to sit on.
The forest provides.
Ugh. One chair, please.
Just sit down on the ground, idiot.
You know it's no fun. I sit down.
Roll to sit down.
Oh no.
And he sits down sort of just opposite you, about 3 or 4 feet away from you, and sort of just pulls his pack around onto his lap where he's sitting cross-legged. Starts sort of shuffling through. He pulls out like a little leather sort of water pouch, drops it off to the side, and then pulls out this sort of oily like hempen bag, and sort of just starts rolling out the edges of it, and inside there is just, well, you sort of know looking at it straight away, it's quite clearly a heart.
Ooh. Tasty fish.
And he sort of just like picks it up slightly, and a little bit of semi-congealed blood sort of pours out of one of the severed aortas.
Now, my mum always said you don't play with your food.
He's just sort of tipping a little bit out there, and it's like, and just sort of wafts it under your nose.
Probably smells amazing right about now.
And just sort of looking at it, it's just like see the sort of the glistening of a little bit of saliva on the corner of your lips, and it's like, and the fact that your eyes have just your pupils have dilated to the sizes of saucers at this point.
I imagine like as you breathe out the wafts that will make it just goes doof. 2.5 hours.
And he's sort of holding this in his hand, just a bit of blood trickling down his wrist. And it's like, you've listened to the sort of the breath and the pulse of the forest. Now I think you need to sort of take that into yourself and hands that heart over to you.
I'll take it. And you mean like eat this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just assumed this would be more deeply meaningful, like the whole closing my eyes and feeling the beat. You're being quite literal. That's okay. That's good. I like being quite literal. It makes this a lot easier.
Plus, I imagine at this point you're kind of craving the
I've already eaten
you're like waving under your nose a little bit, doing the wafting like kind of the thing, and then it's like
turns around. Plus, like,
He's just pulling out his pouch, just like a little side salad. Like, no. You're sort of like chewing on it, like heart muscle, especially not cooked.
yeah, medium
Possibly a
rare's
little bit on the on the chewy side. Like you're sort of, but your teeth have already starting to sharpen. You've got the pronounced canines already kicking in. So tearing through the muscle and sinew of heart is a little on the chewy side, doable. And you sort of every now and then sort of like choking down on sort of a larger chunk, a little bit of the like the gelatinous blood just sort of starts to like slide down the back of your throat. Really trying to paint a word image here. I hope you had dinner recently because it's
jelly. No, I'm on a fast day and this is actually making me hungry. What does that say about me?
And he sort of sits there and waits for you to sort of finish chewing and swallow this thing down. It's a decent sized heart. It was about the size of, or at least the size of your the size of your hand clenched. So it's not a small animal that has sort of been gained from. And he's like, once you've cleaned it out of your teeth, I get you to close your eyes again.
Yep, just get all my daggers out and just. Oh, okay. Close my eyes.
And just think about the spirit of the creature that you've taken into yourself.
Open my eyes up. Just on that, actually. Mm-hmm. What animal was that?
That's what you're about to find out.
Ooh, exciting.
Hopefully.
I'll close my eyes.
So you're sort of closing your eyes and just...
I'll do something very similar to what I did before. Just that, trying to breathe in that introspective look into myself to try and... It's a very similar technique to what we did before when I heard the forest, yeah.
Okay, you're sort of sitting there sort of 4 or 5 minutes at a time and sort of expecting something to have happened by at this point. You're sort of sitting there and begin to sort of feel sort of the prickles of sort of sweat on the back of your neck, like like you're embarrassed about something, or sort of gotten that sort of nervous feeling of like something should have sort of happened by now.
I open up my eyes, look at him like, go back again.
And then as you sort of peek your eye open, you sort of see him sort of tilt head, looking at you, sort of sly smirk on his face, and it's like looking at you, the one peaked open eye. Roll me a Constitution save.
As a drow, I've got a really high constitution. With my con, that's 21. Just roll high.
You're sort of sitting there, and you got the entirety of a heart sort of sitting in the base of your stomach.
I passed my indigestion check. Got any heartburn tablets?
Yeah, he's sort of watching there, is like, feeling anything yet? And you're sort of no, and you can't sort of hold back the disappointment that you're sort of feeling at this point, because, well, you had a almost instantaneous reaction further up the hill, and this time you've physically done an act that should be enhancing this next phase, and you're getting nothing. And he's like, hold that thought. And then you sort of hear the sound of like ripping, and then he's
What's he doing? I'll be watching him.
oh, you're opening your eyes back.
Yeah,
again?
well,
He's tearing some of the hemp bag that was holding that heart, and just sort of, it's probably one of the sections that's sort of most soaked with the blood. And he's like, hands over this square. It's probably about 3 inches long, and a strip about 1 inch wide. And like, all right, place that on your tongue. Don't swallow. Just have it sit there on top of your tongue.
yep, okay, we'll sort of grab it and put it on my mouth, but just keep it
Yep.
with my tongue.
And as soon as that sort of hits your tongue, you've got that taste of iron going through, and this and just a flood of saliva fills your mouth. There's sort of like the flavor and everything going on, and just, you are just living your best werewolf life at this point. And then he's like, eyes closed again.
I'll do that.
And at this point here, it's again about another minute, but your mouth is just like full. You're like slowly sort of just like every 10 seconds or so, you're just having to swallow like an entire mouthful of just like this bloodied saliva. And then you just sort of feel your pulse quicken, and then you hear sort of a strong breeze blowing through the grotto, and then a second breeze, then a third breeze, and this is almost like the sound of a steam train beginning to take off. It's just like until this sort of rhythmic sound starts to match again with your own pulse, which is much, much faster than a natural breeze would be through the forest.
So, like, if I was like running through something, or
That would be one way of describing the experience. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it. Like you're sort of running through it, but you're sitting down. Then your vision, closed eyes, your vision still sort of fills with sort of vibrant reflection of the forest surroundings. You start, without having to open your eyes, you can look around and you can see the shape of every tree that's around you. It's just sort of, you've got fairy fire, don't you? As an ability.
It's a
Very, very similar sort of experience. So you've used that as a spell before to light up enemies, and it gives them sort of like a lit up aura around them that you can follow around as they move around. This is the same sort of thing. So at every sort of tree, you can see the sort of the movement of energy sort of up through the trunks, and then out and through the leaves. You can see a line of ants moving across the forest floor. This is all again with your eyes closed.
And I think instinctively what I'll try to do is my character, I guess I can see the ground, the energy kind of flowing and pulsing through the ground, and I can see that sort of energy thing kind of coming through. I'll instinctively try and see if I can grab it and pull it to me.
How would you do that? Just describe what you would.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was close and I can just see the outline of things, but I'd know kind of where I kind of am. If I see something going near me, like I guess at first kind of like physically see what happens if I move the dirt sort of thing around,
Scratching at it.
Yeah, see if that does something to it, or try and like put my hand in the then put my hand in the way and.
Okay, so you start scratching at some of the peat moss that's around you, because that's the thing that's at hand when you're cross-legged on the ground. And what you can see is where you scratch, the sort of vibrant green that this moss energy is sort of dulls slightly, but you can also see the almost sort of fluorescent green of your own sort of blood flow through your hand. Just moving, like pulsing out to the end of your fingers and then retracting. They're pulsing, and so you can see this sort of flare, and you can hear that sound is matching again with that pulse of them. And you sort of stop looking at your hand, and you can see that energy is not just stopping at the end of your fingers. It sort of pulses out beyond, like an aura around your fingers, and that aura sort of washes like ripples in a lake after a stone gets dropped into it. Washes across the surface of the moss and then sort of recedes back and brings a little bit of that green energy back towards you, and then sort of washes back out again. And you sort of, and watching this, you can see it more and more clearly the longer you study at it, to the point where you're starting to lose where your fingers end and the forest floor begins. It's almost like you're sort of merging into it. Then you sort of hear the sound of footprints, sort of softly walking through the peat moss, and sort of just glance up. You start to glance up, and you can see these paws treading across the ground, and everywhere, each place they stop, each place they step, you see that ripple effect across the peat moss, and then sort of ripple back towards the paws. These paws are sort of a ethereal sort of white shape. And then sort of glancing up, you see the rest of the shape is a large wolf. And it's just sort of pouring its way towards you in a fairly relaxed pose. It's not looking nervous, it's not looking aggressive, it's just walking towards you as like an equal, not showing sort of obeisance, it's not showing fear, but it's not showing sort of any sign of superiority. What do you do from there?
Alright, I guess I kind of. So basically, I'm sitting down. We at.
In your sitting position, it's taller than you. It's a big one.
Oh, he's a big one. I guess I'll kind of move so it's like equal height.
It would probably require sort of standing.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's kneeling or whatever it is, or just getting up.
It's on all fours, and if you're sort of getting up to an eye level position, I think you'd have to sort of sit up onto your knees. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do something like. Well, I'll do that, and I guess I'll try and. Does it seem familiar? Like, I guess I'm trying to get like. I got the wear thing to me. Is that a familiar thing for me as well? Like, am I?
Okay. Roll me a wisdom check on this one. I know it's not one of your stronger points, but.
Oh, not too bad. 16.
16? Yeah, it's not too bad. It does feel familiar, but it doesn't feel like a creature you've met before. And it's sort of walking towards you and sort of sniffing at your right hand. It's only about a foot or so away at this point, and yeah, sniffing at right hand, and then sort of bringing its nose sort of only like inches away from your face, and just like.
I'll sniff back.
Okay. Perception with advantage. That's looking decidedly average.
Close a bracket, it's like 10.5. Still 21 though. Actually, I guess just to game question. So I got what's passive? I got passive wisdom perception, and that's like 20. Like, what does that mean? Will I add that to that, or will that just be because I'm actively doing it?
You're actively doing it, so
thing?
it's
okay.
It's
So let it
whatever you
21.
roll, yeah.
Yep.
You sniff back and you can't smell it at all. Because at this point, your eyes are still closed. Your eyes are smelling it. There is, and you can smell the peat moss. You can smell Graylin very clearly. You can
Filthy gnome.
just the smell of humanoid amongst the forest sort of sticks out. You can smell the pair of squirrels that are in a tree, 300 meters down the track. You can smell all that. You don't get any sense from this.
Okay. I think at this point, if I can't smell, I'll instinctively try and reach out for it, like just have my hand, just kind of like you would some random dangerous drow thing, just kind of like you would your dog, dog. You kind of say that sort of first. So if it bites you, like you can pull away, type of thing. Like I'll put that forward first, and then see if I can kind of touch it.
It sort of sniffs back at the hand that you're offering. It's the right hand that you held the heart with before, and it licks at your hand like that. And it sort of reaches around, sort of because you're holding it sort of upper hand forward. Again that safe way. It sort of turns its head, and sort of licks at the palm of your hand.
I guess that way, but just looking old, yeah.
And you feel that sensation. Again, you still can't sense its scent or anything like that. Sense its scent. That's a hard one to say. And then it sort of all of a sudden just like jerks up, and you can see like the heckles are raised. It's quite alert, and it sort of like takes like four paces back and like head down and just starts growling.
At me, what did I do?
And at this point here, you feel like there's like you're seeing red. You feel like your blood sort of boil up, and you're looking down at your hands, and that sort of pulsing green has gone to sort of a blackish red, and the points where you can see at the end of your fingers where they were sort of blending in with the rest of the world are now sort of sharpened, elongated claws. And looking at the rest of the rest of your arm, you can just see like the sprouting of like fur coming through. Like every part of that sort of aura experience around you is erupting into sort of really defined, thick, sharp points. And this wolf is reacting to this. Okay. And you hear Graylin's voice over the top of all this, just going, just relax. That spirit in front of you is going to guide you. Try and resist the urges of your curse.
Hashtag blessed.
And we should get through this.
I guess my basic instincts, I guess, as my character anyway, who would normally face aggression with more aggression. So I will try and calm myself down. I guess try and bring back that colour that it was before. And
okay, roll me a wisdom save.
Why wisdom?
It's essentially the equivalent of willpower.
Natural 20.
Okay.
The 22.
You sort of like bring your hands down, hold them against the peat moss beside you, and it's like taking big sort of deliberate breaths. And
actually, I guess I've been trying to do, like, I was on that stuff before, like, it's changing colour. What I'll try and do rather than absorb that, and I'll try and push that other stuff out and draw in like the other colour type of thing. Like, go bad energy out, good energy in.
Okay.
That's how I'll be trying to picture, like, because I can see it, and I'll be trying to go away and then bring the stuff that was kind of cool.
I'll run with that natural 20 because I like that mentality. All right. You're sort of focusing on that energy transfer that you were doing earlier.
I make Weremoss though.
Sorry?
I make Weremoss though.
At the full moon, the moss turns into a man. Moss were. You see, like, with every pulse of that energy, you're seeing before, like that red-black energy start like pulses out and then starts to like extending out like blood veins or rapidly growing root systems, or it just starts to sort of spread out of your fingers, and then you pull in a bit more of that sort of energy, and so you can see like your own sort of personal aura starts to sort of replenish as it's sort of pushing out this black and red. Yeah, it's black and red corruption.
Use that as a giant kidney or whatever the detoxing organ is.
Dialysis machine.
Yeah.
But essentially, like every pulse of your heart is just sort of pushing a little bit more of this dark red energy out, and it feels draining. Like you are feeling like your blood's being drained out of you. Like there is a lot a lot of energy being pulled out of you as this is happening. It almost feels like you have like rose stems being pulled through the veins in your arms. This is something that doesn't want out, trying to hang on. Okay, this is taking a little while. You can give me a Constitution save.
My other second best save.
Why do I even ask? Because can you roll less than a 19?
I want to say no, so you never asked me to roll again.
Okay, you manage to sort of you start to sort of feel sort of almost like dizziness of like losing blood or energy. You manage to sort of steel yourself and push through. What is probably going to take about half an hour. Which while that's happening,
Yep.
I'm going to jump over one of these guys. Who's next?
So put one out to the market and watch the store people thingies.
Yep.
The performers and stuff.
I drew your character for you, James. What do you think of it?
Yes.
He's got instruments.
He's almost a one-man marching band.
It's like some sort of...
I thought I
Just had the big drum kit on the back.
I thought I
It's
captured his wide-eyed innocence.
I love this. The extremely hairy feet.
It's halfling.
I was going Hobbit, but you know, it's
So
really
the same
the
thing.
it's really the only touchstone I've got for it.
I assume they're the same thing. Halflings and hobbits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, essentially that. Yeah.
Also, I made him kind of buff. He's little but buff.
Makes sense.
Tiny but feisty. So yeah, you're wandering through the markets. It's evening.
Okay, so would like stores be packing up?
This was, I think, I described it as sort of the night markets.
Oh, yeah.
It was a
It's
festival.
the
It's just it's a
The moon festival thing, because the full moon.
festival. Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's what I can remember what I described.
Yes.
Don't ask me to remember things. Yeah, you've seen some performances, performed in some of those performances. What do you believe you're doing at that point?
I'm looking for a marketplace that's selling instruments.
Oh, okay.
Whether one would still be open at this time of the evening would be unlikely.
I wouldn't say unlikely. Again, the sort of night market sort of stall. Give me an investigation roll for that.
Oh, boy. Oh, thank God, 19.
19?
I rolled an 18.
Nice. Okay. Heading through the markets, you find there is essentially a quartet singing group. It's doing the barbershop quartet sort of.
Hello,
Yes.
hello, hello.
Hello. We should have actually done one of those each, and that would have been really effective.
Really pleased with that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, they're sort of the songs they're producing are essentially jingles for their traveling
Yes.
stall.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, they've got this wagon pulled up. The sides opened up with two sort of shuttered windows, and they've got a younger gent inside, just basically like taking orders from people that are coming past, and they are a traveling music show and music shop.
Excellent. I need a replacement horn.
I need a replacement horn. So you sort of maneuver past the advertising stand, the merchandising
We
department,
go underneath the signs.
and approach up to the cart, and there is a couple up ahead of you with a small child, and they're basically like trying to shop for a starting instrument for the kid to start learning on, and get himself a little sort of recorder flute sort of thing, and then basically starts trotting off happily. Sorry, that's the only thing I could think of after the whole thing with Rin. So it starts trotting off, tooting very badly on a recorder.
We've all there.
Yeah, everyone's been there.
One day you'll learn hot cross buns.
You get up to the front, and this young gent is sort of sitting there, white and red striped shirt, bow tie,
Full barbershop.
yeah, he's doing the whole deal, and he's like, "Evening there, friend."
Now, how do I communicate with this person?
Through dance.
No, you can talk. I need a brass horn.
A brass horn,
A brass horn.
and he starts. You're looking for something in the way of melody or mostly volume?
Volume.
Volume. Alrighty. And you see him sort of turn his back and sort of.
I've been told I need to learn to project.
He starts rustling through and then brings out this sort of this one option. It's sort of a little bit like a French horn. It's got the whole curl and then the large bell at the end. And he's like, "We got this one here. They'll make a lot of noise." Or he shuffles around the back and is like, "It's not brass. This is more of a woodwind." And he brings out something that looks a little bit like a clarinet, oboe sort of setup. It's long, wooden, with several sort of levered, like finger manipulations. I'm not sure what they're actually called. Keys? Are they called keys on a woodwind?
I don't know, man.
I have no idea.
This one here will make a good amount of noise. That'll hold a tune.
I point to the brass one.
A brass one?
Yes.
Oh, you want to make a show of things. I like your
Yes.
style, little one. That one there? 2 gold pieces.
I pay the man.
What are you doing business?
I nod and I take my horn and I scurry away.
Yeah, it's actually got a replacement horn. Not of any special thing. It's just
For
a
now.
nice new horn.
Excellent.
Anything else you want to do at the markets?
No, that's my evening done.
That's your
Yes.
evening done?
Now it's time to go home, have dinner, go to sleep.
All right. Make it back to the church, and like I said, you want some dinner. You head to the mess hall, and there's not the most. This is probably the emptiest you've seen in here for some time. There's only a sort of handful of Heimdall devotees or staff in there.
So it seems unusually empty.
It's a little bit later at night. Most people have already come
Oh,
through
okay.
for the normal dinner rush.
That's true. Normally puppets in bed by now.
Some people might be out enjoying the night markets, or have already been through and head off home or off to the barracks.
Yes.
One thing that does stand out to you is Sigrun.
Oh, she's here.
She is. She's sitting off at a table on the far end, just by herself.
Okay, I'll get food and I'm gonna go and annoy Sigrun.
Okay, you head up.
But I'm
and
going to ask her politely if she minds if I sit
As you start to approach, you
She
notice. You sort of notice in front of her, on the table, there is at least a dozen empty tankards, and she
One
is
girl wasted.
down. Well, she's a platinum.
and she is working on the next one, and she's just sort of like just sitting there, sort of looking down at the empty pots in front of her, and then just taking a large swig of the next one, and just sort of knocking it back down on the table heavily, and just sort of sitting there and just like rocking ever so slightly side to side. And then she's sort of sitting there, and she's in front of her, she sort of pulls her own personal sort of dagger up and just sort of looking at it, and she's still sort of swaying side to side, and just looking at it like glaring at it, like tilting
So it's her own dagger, not the dagger.
No.
Yes,
Her own dagger.
Not correct.
I was trying to be clear with that one.
Yes.
And it's just like, and then sort of throws it down to the table. It sort of digs into the timber button on the point.
Stupid daggers.
Takes another big swig.
So
and
she's
sort
the
of,
picture of contentment.
and then it takes one a big swig, sort of completely upends this tankard, and then at the end of it, just like throws it heavily at the wall next to her.
I don't like the way you're depicting Clemens, Ryan.
At this point, she sort of looks up and is like,
Hi.
"What are you? Why?
Food. I
Yeah.
hold up my tray.
What do I do now? You,
Keep going.
you and the others. You guys have got something, and that something took away my something.
You still have the watch.
I had something real.
And you accomplished something real. You did something real.
What do I do now?
Live your life.
What is it though?
Whatever you want it to be. It's up to you now. It's
I think I know why you didn't talk much before.
that's a lot. I offer her food.
So she reaches out like big hand, sort of grabs hold of like a
Handful of-
like a lump of bread that you
Yeah.
had on there, and it's just like bites into it, chewing there like heavily with a mouth open. Like, no wonder the mouth sounds. I hate mouth sounds on recordings. I'm gonna have to edit that shit out.
It's part of the scene.
Oh.
You're setting the scene. It's she's drunk and messy.
The gods gave me a purpose, and then the watch ended that purpose.
Helped you meet that purpose, and now you can find new purpose, different purpose.
I think I need another drink. And she sort of one hand on the table, just pushes herself up heavily, and then sort of like stumbles forward, and like crashes into the pile of drinking tankards in front of her. It's like scattering half a dozen of them across the floor as there's pools of just like warm, stale ale just like pour across the thing. And then she sort of collapses down heavily onto the middle of the table, and just hearing just loud snoring.
No, she's drunk. I didn't have anything for drunkenness. Cure wounds isn't drunk.
There are other solutions for drunkenness, which is sleeping it off in a cup of coffee in the morning.
How do you mean?
That's true. Can I get some people to carry her to her chambers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Get some people.
easily. Oh, believe me, the crash at this point here.
People are aware.
People are aware of the situation.
They've
Like
plugged away for a long
she threw
time.
a metal tankard at the wall, making a hell of a sound.
Yes.
And then there's been. Well, I think she feels like she was talking quietly, but she was definitely drunk yelling
Yes.
in your direction.
Yes.
I wouldn't say at you, just in your direction. And then collapsed onto the table. Yeah, she's got the attention of the room.
Yes.
And at the point where she's passed out, a few of the watchmen come along and is like,
I'll wave them.
and a couple of them sort of get under an arm each and sort of pick her up and just like, don't worry, Officer Poppet, we'll get her to our rooms.
I salute and I grab a pitcher of water to take as well.
You might want to get a couple of those.
Yes. So we'll take the water in.
So you, the couple of watchmen are sort of carrying Sigrid to her room. You're following behind with these two jugs of water essentially. As you're walking down the corridor, you see Brant come out of his quarters with a passed out Leland on his shoulder, and
So we just give each other a knowing nod. Like,
and sort of
just a-
sees this sight and is like, appears to be the night for it, doesn't it?
Puppet nods.
Make sure you get her plenty of water. I'm gonna get some for this one as well.
I lift up the armfuls of pitchers of water and
And yeah, you managed
Yes,
to follow along. You see Brant, and this is it's an odd sort of look because the guy's got like a peg leg. He's already walks with a bit of a limp as it goes, and now he's carrying the drunken dead weight of a half elf as well on the other arm. But
Leland's only little, that's fine.
He's only little. He's
Yeah.
5 foot something, isn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah. And a little on the wide side.
Yeah, he's skinny.
We are a very
I
little
thought
sort of group, though,
something's
and I think no 6 feet again.
We're the stealth group. Stealth team.
I'm a wizard.
But yeah, you follow
Yes.
along, get her to her chambers, and then once you've made sure that she's looked after,
Safely ensconced
safely,
in
yeah.
which is next to bed. I'm also going to get the slip of paper out of one of my pockets
Mhm.
and just leave a note asking her, like, what do you want to do?
Oh.
Just give her a little breast. It's like WWSD.
No, what?
You- you-
WWHD.
you get a-
HD. Heimdall.
You get a marker on a wall and you write, live, laugh, love.
That's all she needs in life. That's it. That's just a little sign.
Okay. So, you obviously head off to bed at this point after,
Yes.
well, you managed to scoff a little bit of the food that you
Yes.
managed to save out of this whole situation, but yeah, make your way to bed, and at that point, morning breaks. You hear the sound of sort of the morning reveille, which wakes you up quite aggressively.
Ah! That's the sound Leland makes when he wakes
There's
up.
bird song. There's bright sunlight shining directly onto your face through the
And-
window. It's
And a pretty
I
blaring,
don't want to go to school today.
and a pretty blaring bugle sound, essentially.
Fucking pop it. Fucking shove that bugle up his halfling.
Why are you doing that? Get this ring.
The halflings have buttholes. I can never remember.
Yeah, but now do you remember that time the horn blew up in my face and killed me?
I do actually.
You feel a little better? A little better.
I know I personally do. I'm not even there. This guy's like, I feel better for some reason.
Can you give me a constitution save on the as you wake up?
I don't see why. 8. I got an 8, Ryan. That's good.
So you sort of
You're conscious.
sit up like this, and then you feel all the blood rush out of your face, and then very much have to lay down very quickly, otherwise you're going to lose the spirit of breakfast future.
The spirit of breakfast.
And Leland's like, stupid human half getting drunk. Ugh. And Leland looks around because he doesn't know where he is. Because he doesn't remember how he got here.
You are in your barracks room.
Okay, now he carefully inspects the other part of his bunk to see if he brought anybody back with him. Is that that's an investigation roll?
Sure.
I
I don't know what happens if you roll badly on that
So
one.
what
You-
does disappointment look like?
got an 11. You gotta be careful. Sometimes they're little.
Leland's got some stories about some fairies.
You go for Goliaths, you go for fairies. What's with you? Can't you just get someone your own size?
There's no one Leland's size. He would
That is a flex.
he would say that thinking that it was like a big boast and like insightful, and then for a second go, no, it doesn't make any sense. I'm regular sized.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not actually talking to anybody right now.
There is no body next to you in the bed, but as you sort of lift it up, you sort of see Roderick is next to you.
Like position, like he's staring at me.
With a cigarette in his mouth.
And he's like, morning, breakfast. But yeah, and you are, aside from your boots, you are in your normal kit. You're not in your satin robes that you've presented yourself to the crowd before. You are essentially fully clothed apart from your boots.
Okay. Because he doesn't know how he got here, and clearly someone has taken his boots off of him, the first thing he's going to do is search his person for his book.
Oh, yep. Well,
Did anybody touch my fucking book?
your book is on the table next to the bed, and there is a large jug of water and a glass.
Checkmate, water. He'll drink a bunch of the water.
Turn the water into wine.
Not that kind of wizard.
Oh.
He'll drink the water, I guess, and then he will, I don't know, like give himself like one of them, like splash water in his face and give himself a pep talk in the mirror. Like, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's probably not gonna be okay, but we're gonna be okay.
Underneath the jug, you poured yourself a couple of glasses and force as much water down as you possibly can at this point. It's a difficult ask. Underneath there is a piece of paper with a note just in there. It's like, when you feel up for it, come and see me, Brant.
Oh no. Oh no.
Never feel up to it.
Now that the morning horns have gone, Poppet's going to bring food and coffee and knock on Leyland's door.
Okay. That is the very next thing that is, you're sitting there is like looking at this note, is like, oh no.
Oh no.
And then you hear,
Is there a window to my room?
yes.
Just a minute. I'm naked and covered in jam.
Same.
I can hear you laughing down there.
Leland like tugs his boots on, like one of them's half on. He like grabs Roderick and his book and starts to shimmy out the window.
On that, how have you stowed the other book?
I'm sort of picturing he's got like a little like sort of side satchel thing,
Oh, you're just going like fucking books akimbo now?
or like there's enough room to put
Oh, yeah,
both
put 'em
books
like
in.
Dual wielding handbags.
Ooh.
Here's another question, just from a spell slot perspective.
Yep.
Was that count as a long rest?
Sure.
I just need to housekeep that.
You were
Yeah.
pretty out of it, yeah.
Cool. Just do that.
Oh, because you used a bunch of spells yesterday.
Yeah.
Like you're almost your full complement of spells, right?
I had one spell slot gone and Roderick. I don't know. Yeah, no, I definitely use Roderick and stuff. So yeah, shimmying down the window. I imagine he's probably done something like this before.
I would imagine so, but if you can give me an athletics roll.
Should he have a disadvantage for hangover?
I think it's a disadvantage because I don't think he's an athletics person to start off with anyway. So
I have a +0.
there's also a -0, so
I
I'm
got a 12.
apparently a pessimist when it comes to average stats. All right, you sort of climb out the window and sort of like trying to get some footing on some of the stonework off to the side and like kicking off slightly, slip a couple of paces, like grab back hold of the sill and like, and then look down and realize, oh, and just let go, drop the extra foot, and like ground floor apartment.
Yeah.
At this point, Poppet's going to call out Leyland.
I'm out the window. I don't really recognize Papa's voice anymore.
At this point, you knock again the door.
I'm just going to leave it
Okay.
outside and walk
Fair
away.
enough.
He'll find it when he's up.
Leland's gonna make his way to Brant's.
Yep. So you basically just like jump out of your room, then run down to the front of the church and just head back inside.
But he's gonna duck into a corner on his way there, and he's gonna disguise himself as Hrothgar.
Okay. All right.
Is this the part where I say I was also going to Brant's?
You were planning to?
Well, I have to check in. I've been on a mission.
True. All right.
And I'm disguised as Hrothgar, headed to Brant's.
Okay.
Right, motherfucker.
We don't have to split the party.
No, this is great. This is great. Okay.
I mean, we will soon, but...
You make your way to the door there.
I'm gonna cast guidance on myself just before I head in there as well, just as I got a minute, just like preload that. But like doing my best Roth guy impersonating walk. It's a little over the top.
Give me a performance on that one.
+5. 10.
10.
10.
Yeah, over the top would work.
Yep.
It's definitely some college level improv group.
Yep.
And
He's going to Brant's.
yes,
And he's cool. He's cool as he's doing it. Like tipping his hat and being all like.
Think like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's walking down.
A little bit like
the
that,
path
yeah.
singing just.
all right. You
Hi.
you head just the short trek from the barracks region to
Yes. To the armory.
to the quartermasters.
Quarter.
Yeah. Yes. I think I've had this confusion already. Sort of knock on the door and Brant, you hear the sound of like Brant hobbling over. It's the tap 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 as that wooden leg
We
can
all
see.
step.
Wait, he gets there before I do?
I'm inside.
He's inside. You've had to run around the outside.
I'm also faster than you.
Monk had got a good quality 8 hours sleep without the influence of alcohol.
I imagine Leland's got some game. He bounces back from these things. He's
isn't his
saying
first rodeo.
his first rodeo. There we go.
Yeah, Brad sort of pulls the door open and is like, "Ah,
Oh, I spent 2 gold as well. I should. Oh, sorry.
young Master Poppet. Was expecting you last night." That sounded a lot more
Last
salacious
night
than I
seemed a
intended.
Last
Upon
night
your
seemed a
re-
bit busy.
Yes. I should probably rephrase. I expected you yesterday after your group's return, but come on in.
Thank you.
And you head inside. Quarters are the same as usual. And looking around, roll your perception.
20.
20. One thing that stands out to you, your shrine is sans horn.
What happened?
How did that happen?
But how?
Wow!
Yeah, that's what you notice.
I inquire.
Oh, it appears that someone wanted the horn for some reason.
Would you like me to get you a new one? There's this store in town. This market. They got this one
Honestly-
with the buttons and.
Honestly, it's fine.
Okay.
It was only sort of a symbol to the symbol to the god of this church, and it shouldn't. Yeah, I don't expect it's gone too far.
Okay.
It should return.
Okay.
But I assume you're checking in. The other two
Yes.
have had some time of it. I understand that Hana has been and gone rather rapidly, and I'm assuming she was wanting to check in again once she returns from her travels.
Distracted.
And young Master Leland, well, I ran into, well, you saw, I ran into him later in the evening, and
And sometimes with him.
yeah, he seemed a little bit under the weather, we'll say. At what point do you reckon you arrive?
You tell me, man. I'm waiting.
Don't get concerned about him.
Because I'm bursting in as soon as I get there.
Let's say that's about now. But yeah. And you sort of burst in at the point where he's like, I think Leland will be alright.
Good.
Hrothgar bursts into the quartermaster's chambers.
Puppet salutes.
It's like, at ease. Brett, tell me right now, what are we going to do about this Leland situation?
Puppet looks back to Brent.
Brand's sort of looking at
Hrothgar.
Rothland?
Hrothgar. Eric Hrothgar.
No. I'm trying to make a portmanteau of Hrothgar
Oh.
and Leland.
I think when Leland is being, it can just be Hrothgar.
Sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
He probably calls himself wrong.
He sort of just gives like a raised eyebrow. It's like, what's your suggestion, Captain?
Well, I only heard some of this. I can't quite recall all the details. Just go over it again for me. What do we have on him? What are the consequences?
Consequences?
And
He's
like, don't stare at me like that. Out with it. If you need
And
a performance roll at some point,
Oh,
something.
no, I don't know. Okay, you give me.
He's trying to get a sense of what they've got on him and how pissed they are about it.
First of all, give me a perception roll.
Is that what I want to use the guidance on? Is my perception shit? Let's roll it. 12.
You sort of see him sort of like Brant's got this sort of like cocked head, and the eye with the eye patch over it. So he sort of like slightly raise an eyebrow at you.
I mean, I figured this is what would happen, but I just think it's funny.
And Brand is just like, you're young. Is it Larkholm? Larkholm?
I think that's what he calls himself. Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Oh,
The
yeah.
surname's Larkholm?
Larkholm.
Larkholm, okay. Yeah, young Mr. Larkholm. Yeah, visited last night. Quite under the effect of the drink. He has some demons. As you quite well know.
Terrible sort.
But I think okay. We both know that he's quite impetuous, brash.
Dashingly handsome, yes, we know.
But under all that, I think he still tries to make things right in the end.
So what are you proposing as punishment? How dire? How many fingers?
I don't think we need to do anything like that.
All right. Well, I'll cede to your judgment on this.
I've already told him that he won't be receiving any sort of reward for the previous mission because, well, let's face it, some of his choices were, well, we'll go with impetuous, and I'd hope that in future he would think about his choices a little more closely, and he's sort of looking you keenly in the eyes.
No, this sounds like good advice for the dashingly handsome young man. Yes.
And possibly consider maybe a higher quality of booze to get drunk on because it doesn't smell the greatest in the morning.
Edging his way back out the door. Well, as you were, you're in the middle of a very important item allocation business. I will be about my duties. Good day.
Both bows.
Leo like busts out the door is a full. Nailed it.
That was odd.
It was a little, wasn't it?
Shall we?
He seemed a bit off today, didn't he?
A little.
Like a little more.
Maybe you should take a day off.
And he sort of turns slightly to the door. Is like, maybe that would be a good idea. A day or two.
Got it, dude. You're winning.
Shall we?
We shall. You had a rough one, didn't you?
I'll bet. I only died 3 times.
Died is a relative term. You got close though.
I've survived before.
You have. How many times do you reckon you can skip past the gates of Valhalla without?
Until I'm needed.
I like that thought. So, you managed to take down one of the ancient turtles in the world.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Turtle.
I tried to
Even
make
through
it
its strength and hide, and that horn of yours, that packs a punch.
It was big. It was loud.
Certainly. And managed to get most of the refugees back as well.
Probably not.
Shame we couldn't keep that security system alive. They would have been good to be able to interrogate the drow.
Oh, yes.
But I understand you guys might have been running on fumes at that point.
It was a long day.
It was. And he sort of goes over to the remnants of the shrine and sort of picks up the little wooden box of coins and sort of shuffles through and then pulls out like, And you sort of see him sort of holding 2 coins up in his hand, one of the silver and one of the golden, and just like, and just sort of holding them up and like studying them, like, yeah. So it drops the silver one back in the box and hands over the golden one.
Cool. That's great. Gratefully. And proposes his new horn.
Oh, fuck's sake.
His brass horn.
Okay. That's why you wanted to buy a horn first.
A brass horn.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying. I have to try.
You trying to get a fresh horn of blasting to give it a third try, or
No, the brass horn of Valhalla.
Ooh. I don't
Yeah.
know what that does.
Probably not.
I think
It
that
summons
might.
berserkers once every 7 days.
That's pretty cool.
But I'm probably not going to get one.
Oh, all right, let's have a look at items.
I mean, your musical instrument is like works the same as like an arcane focus for wizards
Yes,
and stuff, right?
I can use any instrument.
If you just got like a +2, it means that you'd have like a +2 on all your spell casting that you're using it for. That's pretty cool. Like that's what Roderick has. Roderick has a +2. It's a +2 arcane focus. If you had a +2 on your instrument as an arcane focus, it buffs your spell casting in a like notable way.
Don't know if there were instruments in the thing that had that.
But you can that's just the thing that you can do. It doesn't have to be
you
a
can just put it
specific
on.
item. It can be a +2 horn. That's
Yes.
that's sort of what Roderick does.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah.
One of Valhalla is pretty baller.
They all are. That's
Oh man. The brass one
the second of the 4.
summons 3d4 plus 3 berserkers.
I haven't made a try on doing
There's
honey
a
yet.
2d4 plus 2,
think it's
3d4
gonna be
plus 3,
scary.
4d4 plus 4, and 5d.
Look forward to it. 5d4 plus 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's crazy.
Or it might just be something else.
Technology.
That plus 2 wouldn't affect saving throws, though. That would
What,
be more of a
If they
technical
have to make
magic.
saving throws,
Yeah.
it does.
Oh.
Adds 2 to the DC.
My Eldritch Blast is a +11, and Vicious Mockery is a Wisdom. Wait, hold on. No, Vicious Mockery is different. Toll of the Dead is a saving throw. It's a 19 saving throw. That's why my saving throws for shit are bullshit because Roderick's a +2.
That would make my saving throw 17.
You can do that. And basically, the gold one, we want to make
Well,
it a
it's up
plus
to
2
you.
and give it a little perk as well.
Mislaying perk. Yeah, I'm more than happy with. Because
It just like it then becomes
Yeah,
like
yeah,
your utility piece for being a bard in a lot of ways.
yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna make it a plus 2 horn
cool.
and give me a bit of time to work out the little bonus to it.
Yeah, go for it.
That is
There's
a nice,
a horn
easy
of
solution.
silent alarm that you can make a creature within 600 feet hear the sound.
Yeah, I saw that. That could be an interesting little token to it.
Yeah, but yeah, horn.
Let's face it, if you blow that horn hard enough, everyone's gonna be able to hear it within 600 feet.
That's true. I have other ways to make bad sounds.
Just start screaming.
I have a lot of thunder.
Thunder wave.
Thunderclap, thunder wave.
Yeah, noisiest monk in the world.
Na, 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 na.
Warding wind, which deafens everything else.
And blows the candles.
What do you do? And then, yeah, Brat sort of hands the thing back over to you, and it's like,
Probably pass again.
I can't wait to get my item. Because I didn't murder anyone, so I get something.
You did murder people.
Yeah, but as a cop though.
It's fine. I'm not mad at all. No. I'm cool, Ryan. I'm cool. I get it.
He's like, just relax. You'll get yours
Well, we'll all get ours.
in
To be,
time.
of course, because you murdered someone.
Okay. What do you do from there? We'll jump back to you in a second as well. All right.
That's all right.
Yes. Hobbit's probably just going to roam the markets and just keep an ear out for anyone talk about performances on today, tonight, different taverns, different. Just
Okay.
find out what's going on.
Roll me investigation, and then perception.
Investigation says 16. Perception says 23.
Okay. You wandering through the markets. You come across a couple of sort of essentially like flyers.
Yes.
They're handing out notices, just basically saying that there is a performance at the market's inn by, I don't think of a name now. God damn it. Silden.
Silden. Interesting.
Heading through further, that same
Name pops up.
that same stall that you saw yesterday,
Oh.
where you bought your horn from, is
Yes.
it's moved to another location, but it's still sort of, it's got the barbershop guys out the front as well. Sort of, they're sort of
There.
they're there. They're not doing their song at the moment. They're sort of sitting back, leaning, just sort of having a chat amongst themselves and just talking to passers-by, and after a little while, they sort of, a couple of them sort of clear their throats, and they start their little harmony beginnings, and then leap back into song. They're doing a quartet version of old Norse hymns.
My favorite.
Where they were normally, last night they were sort of singing in a higher octave. This time it's low down, and it just sort of reverberates off all the walls, and it's just hitting like perfect harmonies all around. Wandering further around the markets, you hear the sound of sort of like screeching and sort of low growling off in one of the side alleys.
I go to investigate.
And you come around the side and you see this white furred cat sort of cornered by a couple of sort of larger tomcats, and they're doing that sort of low sound of cats fighting that, and this white cat is sort of cornered into the back. It's got a couple of like scratches across its face, but then the standoff finishes, and then they both this white cat sort of leaps at the other two, and this basically this is collection of fur rolling across the floor as just the sound of hissing and growling, and just the sound of biting sounds. And one of the attacking toms sort of tumbles out the road with this large sort of gash down its sort of front flank, and then backs off and then runs away. Meanwhile, this sort of turmoil of just maelstrom of white fur and this tabby are just like tumbling through the thing. It's just this series of like hissing and mewing. What's your plan?
I will. So it's just the two cats.
Mm-hmm.
Are making a big nuisance. I feel sorry for the white cat. But I can only animal friendship one thing at a time because it's an action. It's the one time I could use animal friendship. And that maybe
Meanwhile,
actually work.
this whole thing is just like tumbling around.
Ooh, actually, I can.
At a point, this white cat sort of rolls on top of the front, on top of the other one, sort of like pins it to the ground, and there's basically like it's got one foot sort of on the chest of the other one there, and it's like pulls the other hand up, and there's like all four of the claws are just exposed, and it's just like slash across the face of the
Well, that's fair.
the tomcat, and then sort of like flips off to the side, and this tomcat just like sort of screeches slightly, and then sort of backs away. You can see like blood just along the nose, sort of dripping away, and this thing just like backs off and just like
the bloody
it's like
thing.
and then bails.
So you can attack it. Okay, in that case,
And
it's-
this white cat is just sitting there like sitting there like aggressive pose, like the hair's all up in end, is like like heavily breathing because it's just been fighting like crazy for like the last couple of minutes, and it's like, and then it sort of sees you and it's like,
I'm going to attempt animal handling.
okay.
I might regret this. Damn it, that's a 6. 11.
11. You sort of try to sort of like approach. You sort of like doing the finger, like rubbing the fingers together, trying to get his attention. Is like try to and then bring yourself down low, not looking at his eyes and everything. And as soon as you get closer, it's like.
Okay, I'll use the ring animal friendship. Okay, so it's a DC 13.
Okay.
Wisdom 13.
Yep. This cat sort of just like sort of stops for a moment, and the hair sort of settles back down on the back of its neck, and it sort of looks up towards you, and it's like pauses for a moment, and you sort of hear this rumbling sound coming from inside. It's just like
I'm going
it's
to
like patters up towards you, and just starts rubbing like this white fur against your leg.
I'm
It's
going
like,
to cure wounds.
yep.
I cast cure wounds. I'll spend a spell slot on this cat. My Arcana star gets a charge
Okay.
because I need to remember these things.
Nice.
I have too many alternative spellcasts. One charge on the star. Oops. Oh, my press one, but I'll fix it later. There's one charge on the star. I will pick the cat up and take it with me on my wanders.
Okay.
What kind of kitty is the new instrument?
Right. What were you doing at this point? Because you went out in Hrothgar uniform.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like a comical scene of him like being like, "Whew, got away with that one," rounding a corner and seeing Hrothgar at the other end of it, and like, shit.
Were you still in?
And then he take that.
Were you okay? You come around the corner in.
Yeah, still as Hrothgar, and seeing him like at the far end.
Okay. You sort of duck back around the corner, shift into Leland.
Into Leland.
Okay.
I'm allowed to be here.
And you see.
I'm allowed to be here. I'm allowed to be here.
Diplomatic community.
And you sort of standing there, so like. And you start hearing these heavy footfalls. And then you sort of see Captain Hrothgar's head poke around the corner, and is like, Leland, did you see anyone else come around there?
Yes, I did.
Describe them for me.
They looked a lot like you. It was weird, but like not like actually like 100% like you. It was like a dwarf guy though. I don't think I've seen him around before.
That's really weird.
Ew, I thought it was weird. Do you want a deception on this?
Yes, please.
I'll use that guidance that I had triggered, and my +9 deception.
All right. Mochi.
30.
Well, it's not that weird that other dwarves are around, but
He could have been your brother, though. I mean, and I thought I'd remember that. I'd be like, hey, that guy looks like Rough Guy.
my brother died in the last war.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You know this.
You killed him. That's why you're here.
But that's truly weird. Anyway, have you checked in with Brand yet?
I have checked in with Brant.
How'd things go?
I think they went very well. I don't think they went badly at all.
Because I've been waiting for his report on things. So since I'm down this way, I might pop in and check.
Actually, just before I saw that guy that definitely wasn't your dead brother, I saw Heidi go past here, and she said that there was very important business that you had to attend to in the main hall. And she was sort of saying it to herself, and it was sort of weird that she said it out loud as she was passing me, but I sort of take note of these things because I'm a observant watchman, and it's all about keeping your head on a swivel and perceiving things. So
Probably still going to roll with that 30 deception you got going on there, because that seems fair that sort of floods through to this entire bullshit. I'm like, right, I'll get out there. At some point,
pat him on the butt as he goes by.
He sort of like stops like short, like tucks his butt in slightly, like, and then turns.
Have you been working out? Yeah, you have. I'll see you around, Hrothguy, and I'll walk in the other direction.
I am just giving you just all the rope you need to hang yourself, and you're just like, just doing another loop. Yeah.
Wait, do you need 5 nooses around your neck or 6? What's the perfect amount of noosage?
This pirate is just gonna quarter himself just with nooses.
I'm fucked already.
Yeah, I double down.
Yeah, I might as well see if I can stack these chairs, if I can stack this Jenga tower up so high that eventually I can just climb it and get over the wall. I guess there's a wall in this metaphor that I'm concocting here.
Or the Jenga tower becomes too big to fall.
Too big to fall. Too big to fall, Ryan.
That's how physics works.
So anyway, I'm going to go and play with some dark magic now.
Okay.
Same.
Yours is light magic.
Oh, same.
Jesus Christ. I think I might deal with your playing with dark magic in a next session, because that's a whole thing I want to...
Okay.
Because I got a whole thing I want to do with that, but I need to sort of plot it out as well. But I did say I was going to pop back over to Hannah.
That's me.
It's you.
8th dwarf.
Because really, I've only done dumb shit this session. I haven't really done anything.
I'm sure.
See how I'm doing for time when I get back to that.
It's all good.
It's all good?
Yeah. I'm cool. I'm having fun.
Good.
Having fun in D&D? Ryan, fix this.
Okay, so back in the dark grotto that you're currently sitting in, eyes
moss.
closed still. You've been at this for half an hour to 45 minutes.
Did not turn into an angry wolf.
Did not turn into an angry wolf, but you've just been pushing this energy out of you, and as it's sort of been forced out of you, you can sort of see it sort of starting to coalesce into its own form and shape in front of you.
Ooh.
And it's looking more and more like a bipedal wolf, elongated front arms with like long hands with long claws. It's essentially looking like a B grade horror funhouse mirror version of your hybrid form.
Ooh.
In this red black energy, and that large sort of white wolf is just like heckles up, growling at it. And if you could roll in for initiative.
I think we just assumed it's going to roll a 19. Isn't that what we said before? That's the thing, right?
20, yeah, 20.
Where's your roll?
What else can you do?
I actually rolled a 19. See, you just wasted everyone's time.
Next time you should listen to the man.
We're first up.
So 24.
You're first up.
Cool.
So we're rolling in for initiative. No attacks have happened as of yet. Like, there is just like, this is the Mexican standoff of wolf drow.
This is where you can explore some alternative dispute resolution techniques.
You're right, so using sword, I can use my fists. Or daggers, I've used my daggers.
Mediation.
What?
You know, just come together and
What kind of attack is that?
verbal.
Oh,
Semantic.
nice.
Psychological wolf.
I think it's kind of like, I guess, like a dodgy sort of virtual reality type things. But I'll still
The
be
colours,
closed.
your eyes are closed.
I'd still be getting that sort of close. So like, I see things, but
Yeah, it's probably not a bad way of looking at it. It's everything's got like a little bit of motion blur going on, and like as you move your head, like your perception takes a second to catch up, so you feel like there is a motion delay, motion blur aspect to things.
because I'm kind of out of this, I'm gonna cast a spell.
Yep.
I'm gonna use a cantrip.
Yep.
I have no idea how this works.
Uh-huh.
Time 1A. I don't know what that means.
What?
One action.
Ooh, that's exciting. That makes sense. Okay. So kind of reaching out, like seeing the energy pulse and stuff like that, kind of react to this thing. I'm basically going to throw out primal savagery. Is it primal savagery? No. Is that what I'm thinking of? Like, how close is it? Like just next to I can't.
It's the nega wolf, the werewolf the red wolf is like 5 feet in front of you. It's
all right, so I'm going to, I guess, like, so anything kind of like lash out, and basically as I'm lashing out, I'm going to basically cast primal savagery. So you channel primal magic to cause your teeth or fingernails to sharpen, ready to deliver a corrosive attack.
Yep.
So make a spell attack against one creature within 5 feet. On a hit, takes 1d10.
Yep.
And it's 2d10 if I'm at 5th level.
Which you are not enjoyed.
Well, the game, like the thing, D&D Beyond, is saying that it does 2d10 damage. Like it's automatically saying it.
Oh, because it will scale up anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's a cantrip, then
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was triple double, not.
Well, that's why I was checking as well, because I was going to ask.
Just your overall level.
Okay.
So natural 20.
Yep.
Because fuck it, why not, I guess. I was thinking of taking the luck fate, but I don't know if I need it. What the fuck does a D10 look like?
They look like
I don't think I've ever used a D10.
this one.
What was it, the 0?
That's one.
They also look a little like this one.
Oh yeah, let's roll these 2 bad boys.
That was 2d10, wasn't it?
Yep. So
Roll
it's
that twice
40-10.
as well, yeah.
Okay, so that is 13. That is 5, so that's 18.
18, and there was no plus to that?
I don't know. Just says make a melee spell attack. So I'm assuming it's a melee spell attack. It doesn't add like my own stuff. It's just like I'm attacking that spell.
It's your spellcasting modifier, whatever that ends up being with your thing, and it just means that you don't have like
Yeah, I've got +6 to hit DC, so I'm assuming it's just
But it's like the thing where like you have disadvantage if you're shooting a ranged thing into melee. You don't have that.
Yeah.
Like that's why I've got Shocking Grasp, which is a melee spell attack, and Eldritch Blast, which is a ranged spell attack. That's why I have the 2.
I mean, you can change the character from there, but I just picked that one at random. So cool, I'll just do that. So just lashed out and done.
fits the theme that you're going for as well.
Yeah.
And you see that, like, you go to slash out, and that energy that sort of pours out of the end of your fingers sort of like, almost like crystallizes at the end and becomes like points and shards, and you slash across this spirit in front of you, for a lack of a better term, and you sort of see like a part of it sort of like just like smoke pouring out, and then it sort of starts closing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
guess
reform.
I'll stand up to face as well, but it's standing up and
With that, the red wolf goes down to sort of like a 3-point contact sort of pose, and then lunges forward at the white wolf. Okay, apparently I can roll 20s as well. Can't roll damage though.
Administration question.
Yes.
You can cast cantrips.
However many times.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
there's
like
no
a,
spell
it's like a
slot.
spell
They
slot
run
up in the other one.
That's why I'm Eldritch Blasting. Like
Oh, it's a
that.
cantrip. Okay, yeah, maybe.
So yeah, this the red wolf sort of leaps forward and like grabs the white wolf like around the throat with a large clawed hand, and sort of like tries to like drag it down to the ground, and then while holding onto it, tries to sort of reach out and bite it, and sort of digs its canines like around the top of the back of the neck of the white wolf, which then strikes back. There's a lot of rolling against myself here. All right, these two are sort of like just like lunging backwards and forwards. Like the one sort of lashes out and grabs hold of and does the whole bite. The other one sort of pushes, slams forward, and sort of knocks the red wolf backwards and down to the ground. Coming back to your turn.
Oh, it's on the ground, stunned.
It's knocked over. It's not prone.
Okay. I'll move up and kind of jump on top of it, and I guess try to pin it. I guess there's some physical attacks like that, but what I'm trying to do, I guess, essentially is like see the earth, do all that sort of stuff going through, like push it back and take what it is and put it back into the whatever it is I'm seeing right now. You know, like back into the ground or back into the earth.
Roll a. This would be a strength athletics. Mine will be a strength athletics to resist, but with disadvantage because I am prone.
I didn't roll a 19 or a 20 this time. So that's 15.
15. Oh, we could you definitely got it grappled, and at that point you just roll a strength check, just a straight up strength check.
Oh, that is 8.
8. And you're sort of like pushing your entire weight onto this thing here, but you're sort of like it's resisting back. Like you're trying to sort of push into the ground. You can see sort of the sides of it are starting to sort of like dissipate slightly, like smoke, but it's tangible and sort of fighting back. It's going to try and lash at you, just like you've got it sort of pinned by the shoulders, but it's like trying to bite you with its misses because of disadvantage. The white wolf starts sort of circling around, and you can hear Graylin's voice from just sort of around you. You sort of mid-fight, you sort of lost concept of where he is around you, and you're not sort of in a position to look around. But he's like, try and contact the spirit of the heart. Try and use that power.
I projectile vomit on it.
Oh, gross!
It didn't go down well.
And this white wolf is sort of it's like circling around, and just like it's just sort of walking like clockwise around, with its head turned to the right, just like growling at this fight around you. Back up to your turn.
Because you have thought like that came from me. I'm just pretty good. That's the lock and the curse, which kind of controls me. So I'm gonna, rather than pushing it away, I'm gonna try something different now. I'm basically gonna scream at it saying, you say that on the lines like, "You don't control me, you are me, and I'm in control." And like kind of talk about therefore, like just try and using that spirit within, like to pushing it away, absorbing it, I guess under my terms. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
I guess trying I guess in pack animal thing, trying to assert like that dominance and say, no, you're mine, but you're under my control. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess, yeah.
Trying to work out whether I'm going to do...
Try to absorb that energy, but absorb it being red, making it...
I'm going to try to work out whether I'm going to do this contested wisdom or constitution.
For me, they're all shit rolls, so whatever.
I'm going to go with constitution. This feels like constitution.
Alright.
Contested.
Come on, 19. That's 6. That is... No. Yes, 8. Yes, it's 8.
You start to trying to absorb the power, and you just feel like it is resisting your will and your sort of spiritual strength. In its pin state, it sort of stops and talks, and it tried to bite at your throat last time, and this time it's sort of still pushing sort of against you, try and stop it either being absorbed or being pushed into the ground, and it's bares its teeth at you and says, "It's me that gives you your strength, you pathetic child.
Me?
Without me, you'd be dead 3 times over. And now you're trying to force this. This is like trying to give up your brain or your eyes or all your limbs for the sake of what? A little bit of fun every month. And now you bring this, and it sort of indicates by sort of pushing its head, shifting its head across to the right, in the direction of this white wolf that's pacing around you. It's like, then you bring this pathetic version of an animal to try and do what? I may be stuck inside you, but I am you." And then it lunges at your throat.
Rude.
Natural 20.
Very rude.
You really got to stop beating yourself up.
Just let's see. Eyes closed. Body, mate.
It's just that hand out like in Fight Club, just watching you.
Just,
Hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
That is 13 damage.
bleep, bleep.
And I don't have to worry about doing the lycanthropy roll because you.
That is confirmed.
But you sort of feel it like clap around your sort of windpipe and the right part of your neck, and you just sort of feel like this energy sort of seeping in through your neck, and so it's just grabbed hold. It's sort of holding you. It's like almost like it's drinking your own energy out and sort of replacing it with its own, almost like a vampiric transfer. Meanwhile, that white wolf dies past and tries to rip the creature off you, and misses.
Maybe it's right.
What do you do now?
So yes, I'm being pinned on the throat. Really can't.
Well, you're holding it down like this, and it's sort of lunged forwards just with its its upper shoulders and everything, and it's basically like grabbed hold of your neck with its jaws.
Okay. I guess I won't try. I guess this being like what is, I won't try and speak with words. I probably physically can't talk
Yeah, it'll be difficult.
with words anyway.
But
But
interesting if as well as any sort of outside observers on this one here that could see it, that would be kind of fun.
I guess I'll try and communicate it in the spirit type plane that we're in. I didn't need you to survive. I've survived by myself against incredible odds long before you rocked up. You gave me power, and I love that power, and I want more of it. But honey, you're not that important. You just opened the door for bigger and greater things. And I'll kind of double down on that sort of like
Yep.
Pry that.
Yep.
And while doing that, I guess counterversing that absorbing thing and keep trying to absorb him into myself.
Roll a strength check.
I should stop doing things that rely on strength. 4!
So you've managed, you sort of pull it open enough to be able to sort of say you're lying there, and then just like lose grip a little bit, and it sort of just like it doubles down and like clamps back down again.
Shouldn't have got all that blood on my hands
Sick.
before.
It's going to try and double down on that bite.
Misses.
I rolled a 4.
Oh,
Meanwhile, that white wolf is pacing around, and still going around and around, and just like you can sort of see, like your vision is sort of starting to sort of like close in. You're starting to lose like blood flow to your brain, and you're getting that tunnel vision
my
start
brain,
to close.
that's where I live.
That's where my me lives.
Love that guy.
This wolf is just like pacing around, and it sort of looks you in the eye, and then sort of looks at the wolf, and then sort of looks at you again, and looks down towards your chest, and then sort of looks at you,
All right, I get it.
and then it's
I've got to die to my own imagination.
Just like the gypsy woman said.
and it sort of circles around again, sort of lunges past, slices at the werewolf form, and then drops back down.
Yeah.
Back at yours.
I am going to do that first little thing I learned. Clearly strength isn't working. Even though I'm so incredibly strong. So I'm going to do the first thing we did at the start when I went through it. I'm going to try and listen to my heartbeat and everything else around me,
Yep.
and even that creature's heartbeat, and try and bring it into sync like I did before.
Okay. You sort of take a bit of a raspy breath because it's your windpipe that's being closed off at the moment. But it
Nose breathe, that annoying little high squeak noise.
like when you got a broken nose, like
Yeah. got a cold.
but yeah, you sort of start to listen to your own pulse, and it's slowing, but you can sort of hear it sort of it's slower, but it's sort of thundering in the back of your ears because it's your heart's really trying to get blood to your brain, and you can sort of see the that wolf, it's circles around again, and you see it sort of just start to like flare, and then matching the pace of your heart, and then you sort of see it like duck its head down, sort of like a submissive pose for a dog. Ducks down, sort of looks up at you, not in a threatening way, just like like it's waiting for a command.
Roll over.
Shake.
High five.
Go. Got him.
And
Let's say, I guess,
Yeah.
we would say, lend me your strength and wisdom.
with that, it ducks right down at the front and sort of does that whole sort of shuffle back slightly, and then just like leaps straight at you, like straight towards your chest, and hits you sort of bodily right there, and just like
Ow.
falls inside your chest.
But how though?
And you sort of looking down at this, and you just see this whole sort of white form of like spirit energies like rushing from your heart up to your throat through, and then that's about as much as you can see the glow there, and then sort of down your legs, down your hands, down your arms, which you can sort of see in your peripheral vision as you're holding the jaws apart, and you roll your strength with advantage this time.
It'll be fun this time, you guys. It hasn't worked for all the times we rolled it, but it's going to be good now.
Just roll 19.
14.
You start to like pull those jaws apart, and then get it far enough apart where those canines are like outside of your flesh, and you can sort of push the red wolf away from you, and you can sort of see in your hands there's like energy's like pulsing at a like quick rate down your hands. So there's your normal sort of green hued energy, just like with waves of this white going through it, and your hands sort of extend out into claws, and you start to sort of feeling like this sort of animalistic strength pulsing through, similar to what you experienced with the lycanthropy, but this feels cleaner. And going to the werewolf's turn, it takes another swipe at you and goes to try to bite back at your neck, and it connects, but it just can't seem to pierce the skin around your throat. Back over to you.
I've done that. Again, I'm going to keep focusing on, the wolf inside me, and I guess the spectral form, or,
Essentially, at this point here, go with that primal. Was it primal fury? Primal slash? What was the spell you used before?
primal savagery.
Primal savagery. I'll just describe with this one here. You sort of claws already extended, like the spell's already pulsing in your hands, and just start laying in to this red wolf form, and just like each slash, just like slash through.
I have had enough of you.
Essentially, exactly that. You're just like tearing this energy apart, and every little bit is just like red and black, just like flies off to the right, flies off to the left. I know my left and right. I was doing it with my right hand. That's my excuse. People listen to this.
Righty tighty.
And it's like this spiritual creature is just being shredded by the combination of your two things, and then you sort of feel a hand on your shoulder, and you just hear Graylin's voice in your right ear.
Left, side, left. Port.
And he's like, "That's enough, my dear."
Couple has been punching this rock.
And you probably open your eyes up at this point.
I'd like to think what kind of happened. He's done that, like in that sort of rage. I'll kind of swing around and kind of like go for him, but realize that rather than being like that wild, like,
Yep.
there's a thing, food, attack, consume. It's like that. They go, oh no, I can stop that. I just kind of stop, like just around that, and just kind of, put my hands down, just get up and open my eyes.
And just the whole light show that you had going on before. It's very sort of Tron in the forest.
Daft Punk's playing in the background.
That sort of all gives way to just like the muted tones of a valley grotto, and Graylin's sort of sitting in front of you just with that same cheeky little smile.
I fucking hate that smirk.
And he's just like clapping his hands together. Just like, fantastic. Felt good, didn't it?
Everything seems duller now.
You'll get that for a little while. Does it feel good?
I don't know. I like the power before. Good's different. It feels different.
you're giving something up that was power. That's true power. And it had its limits.
No, unlimited power.
In time, you'll be able to do better than that.
Ooh.
We'll see what we can train you up with in the meantime.
Guess I'm here a bit longer.
A little while at least.
What's the time? Like, night. Is it midnight? Is the moon like...
You, at this point here, you look up and you are greeted by the 5 teeth phase of the moon. This is full moon up in the sky, which you didn't think you were going to be able to see just with your regular eyes.
I'll just look up and go, huh.
And then you sort of look down at your hand and like, yeah, just that charcoal grey skin that you've always used to.
It's me. No. The hairy knuckles.
No hairy knuckles. And Growlin sort of looks at you and is like, want to get a drink? The festival's going to be kicking off already. I'm pretty
If
sure.
I'm going to be around more gnomes, yes, I'm going to need something to drink.
And he starts to sort of lead you back up the hill. And you can start hearing some of the festivities of the full moon festival that the village runs. And we'll leave you there for the moment. Can we jump over to you for a sec?
Okay. Hold on. What does Leland sound like?
Hello.
Hello, my name's Leland. That's not it.
That's not it at all.
Yeah, close enough.
The only thing I thought was like magic stuff, like looking into the books or maybe going down and visiting the mimic. But that was sort of my next play.
We can start something off, and if it ends up being something bigger, I can develop it ready for the next session. So
Okay. There was a thing I was wondering about with the books. Like now that I've had a chance to like examine the other one, because I know there's meant to be like a deep like sort of connection between me and my book.
Yep.
Do I have that with the other one? Like what I'm sort of imagining is that like I should be able to tell which one is my book.
Oh yeah, even though they've been described as like virtually identical from the outside, you can shuffle them. You can put one. You will always know.
Yeah.
You'll always be able to pick the two out. Pick your book out of the lineup.
Okay. Cool. I wanted to make sure of that, so I've always got my one on me. I need to figure this out, Ryan. It's a pickle, is what it is. I know the last thing I was doing was I was trying to copy the symbol of the candle into my book, and I got disrupted
By the dragon toad.
by the toidle. So, like, I guess I'll have a look at that and see how bad the fuck up was.
Okay, looking at it, I think you were doing they did the outside shape of the like the teardrop shape of a candle. You're doing the inside shape, but partway through before you got interrupted, and then there's a long sort of cut line across from where they are. So,
Looking at that, and then looking in the other book, because I'd done that before, like done something in my book and it had happened to the other book.
you did something to the cover of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, like, what has happened to the other book? Is it still like the proper candle?
Looking at that page in the other book, that candle image is now a mimic of your one. That candle symbol that you had almost perfectly replicated.
I don't
Is
understand
now-
this at all. I don't understand this at all. I'll go for a wander down to the cells.
Taking books with you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. You head down. Yep. Basically pass by Bob.
Bob, love your work. Is that a new shirt? That looks like a new shirt. It's nice.
What do you want?
Well, I just came down here to chat.
No one comes down here to chat.
And that's a travesty. That's a travesty, Bob. I was just sitting
What do
up
you
there
want?
in the open air, in the nice, lovely open air, and I thought, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to go sit in the dank cellar and talk to my mate Bob. And I'm greeted like this. And frankly, it hurts, Bob. Frankly, it hurts. I want to go talk to the prisoner. Go get the fucking keys.
You almost had me for a moment there.
Well, you almost had me too, Bob. You almost had me too.
He sort of like grunts as he gets out of this chair. Like, "Argh." You hear the rattling of keys on his belt, and he's like, "Right then, The creepy one, yeah.
Yeah, the creepy one.
And he sort of like trudges down ahead of you, sort of jingling the keys on the belt, and gets up to the door, like cracks it open, and is like, "Creepy one, back of the cell." And you sort of hear the shuffle back. Righto, in you go.
I didn't need all that stuff before, Bob. You're great. You're great. You're great.
I can't leave this thing open all day, in or out.
Look, you can do anything you set your mind to, Bob.
Are
Don't
you
let anybody tell
Are
you
you a
you
cop
can't
or
do
a
anything.
cat? In or out?
Well, that's actually a very interesting. I'm gonna go in now. I'll get back to you on the cat thing though, because that's actually very interesting. I'm imagining you slam the door while I'm
And there's like thud, click.
cop or cat. That Bob. Then I've like remembered what I've just done, and I'm locked in a cell with a monster, and I'm like slowly turning around just to see what's going on.
And you basically just see like that bolt upright avatar of the librarian sort of sitting in front of you. The cloak is sort of drifting across the floor and then sort of disappearing into the shadows. And it's like, yes.
I'll pull out the not my book, and I'll throw it on the ground in front of them.
Yeah, them works.
Them?
Just go with that pronoun.
Just like throw it on the ground, slam down heavily in front of them. Like, what the fuck? I'm done with these games. Just explain what the fuck is going on. I've been doing my part. I've been living up to this whole like dark eldritch pact nonsense, and all I'm getting is cryptic nonsense. So what's the deal with this fucking book? Please.
There's more than one.
Yeah.
That's not cryptic. That is quite literally the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know that part. Because I can count. I live in the physical plane with numbers and cause and effect. I get 1 and 2. But why is there 2?
Because I need more than one.
But it's the same book, right? Like, actually the same book?
In a manner of speaking.
Because if I take this one out and I get this quill and I write, "Hey, the librarian sucks donkeys," it's going to appear on that one too.
Yeah, because it's the same book.
Okay. Yep. Okay. How?
I'm glad you're working this out so far, though. You do seem to be following.
How?
Are you questioning the way I do things? Because frankly, I'm impressed.
Look, questioning would imply disapproval. This is questioning in more a like curious bafflement, let's say. Questioning to find out what the fuck. Not like questioning like how dare you. I wouldn't say that. Yeah. But like, oh look, I just want to know.
Only a fool would put all their efforts into one plan.
Yep.
Do you think I would do that?
No.
Because the evidence is right there that I haven't put all my efforts into one plan.
Okay.
Because you've got...
So okay. So you were also investing your power into Craven.
I was investing my power into the possessor of that book.
That's Craven. Keep up. We're playing on a 5th grade level here. I just like I'm sort of hoping that it just snaps and whatever and just like see where that goes.
End of the day, this is not the full thing. This is just a representation of it.
That's why I'm talking a lot of shit to it.
Yeah, because you sure as hell wouldn't do that in its home dimension.
No.
There are So there's yourself. There was the former owner of the book that you've managed to collect.
Mm-hmm.
But there's others.
Okay.
But it's still my book.
All right. Cool.
Well, my book.
The you that you're like wearing the face of and representing in some kind of ephemeral way.
Exactly.
Exactly. We're all adults here. We understand what's going on. That's an interesting question. Yeah, that's more of a pickle than the cat thing from earlier.
I don't ever remember being a child, so can I be an adult?
Ooh. Yeah. That's not even really like confusing at all. Of course you can.
Is it in a stage of life though?
Look, I'm not going to get into this with you now. Look, clearly you're going to need somebody. I just do spells. I'm a spells guy. You know me. So the way you say it, you don't need this book. What should I do with this spare book? Because frankly, this spare book ain't really doing it for me.
Oh, that'll return to its owner when it's summoned.
Oh, but it's dead. But he's dead.
Is he though?
He seemed pretty dead. We did kill him a bit. He did get like chopped bodily by a angel thing. Saying he's not dead. This is interesting.
Well, he's dead, but he's not dead.
I get how this whole like mortal coil like material realm thing might be confusing for someone of your
As soon as he requires that book, he'll get his book back.
Interesting. Well, I'll just grab that. I'll just grab that back. Just getting like closer than I have this whole time to go pick the book back up. I'll mage hand it back. Put it back in the thing.
Why do you perceive him such an enemy? You are both working towards the same aims.
But he tried to kill me. And he was a dick. And he dropped me in a gnome. And have you ever been to a gnome village?
Yes.
Then you'd understand. He dropped me in a fucking gnome village.
But my question still stands. Why are you fighting against him?
I mean, that's sort of what I do. Like, I'm fighting against you right now. It's... Who knows why Leland does things, really?
He pushes against the people he loves the most.
Yeah.
You've ended up with, even though you weren't its original intent, its intended recipient, you ended up with that book
Yeah.
and have taken on its powers.
Yeah, I have.
You're not following the same path as the others. Why are you fighting against them? Do you not want the full power of this?
I mean, I do. But look, it was never really made... I'm reading this book, there's not really a contents page or like an index. It's not even really like a glossary that I can really find, which I understand are book things that are useful for understanding books. Because I'm something of a book person myself. It hasn't really been made clear like what the progression path is, what these keystone milestone points are, like what are our critical paths to get like the full power thing. I'm just trying to figure this out, and you've been very recalcitrant with explaining this to me. So if I'm supposed to be assembling a criminal organization to bring down civilization, if that is like the next thing to unlock the next level of spells, then you just have to say that.
Oh, if that's the situation, that's fine. He pulls out his e-meter. No, not doing that.
Can we do it anyway?
Oh, you're ready for your audit, sir. No.
This went to a different place than I was. I'm with it. It answers a lot of questions, frankly.
There's like, they. Everyone else has been steadfast in their pursuit of knowledge. They are granted books and the powers from the books and access to vast libraries beyond the mortal realm.
Yeah.
And you've so far been content in playing in the margins.
Interesting. I mean, I've been pretty busy with, stuff.
You have been productive. And then sort of gesticulates like this is like, I'm here after all, thanks to you.
Yeah.
You have been bringing such things into the world.
Yeah, about that.
I understand there's been one introduced to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. No, that was yeah, I sorted that fucking guy out and could, like, it definitively did that thing that was very intentional and corrupting things. That's what I'm all about.
Well, it continues to do so.
Yes. Very, very happy with how that part of my scheme is progressing.
Keep on going with that sort of thing, and I can see wings of the library open to you in short term. That is, after all, what you're after, isn't it? More power, more knowledge.
That would be
more
cool.
control.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, good talk. This has been a good talk.
If you continue pouring my essence into the world, there's more power to you.
Okay. Cool. Too cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna head off. You need anything? You need any books?
One
like
last thing.
some funny pages, maybe like a Sudoku thing.
One last thing. And then sort of just like takes 2 steps forward.
Some
and then sort of
toilet wine or something for you to drink down here. I think that's a thing they do. When I was in prison, we had toilet wine. It has its appeal.
It holds a sort of long-fingered hand, like it's a.
Could get you a toothbrush, maybe, that you can like sharpen up and stab people with. I never really got the hang of that, but
Focus.
so no on the toothbrush then. Cool. All right.
Give me your hand.
I got 2. Which decisions?
Dealer's choice.
Okay. No, I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute. Take a left hand.
And the avatar grabs hold of the back of like you hold your hand out, like
Sorry.
back of hand up, sort of grabs hold of their hand over the top of your hand, and you sort of see this black ichor, sort of just like the hand over the top of yours. It sort of melts at the edges slightly, and like you see this black ichor sort of pour over the back of your left hand, and then sort of just like soak into the skin on the back of your hand. You see these fine lines of it running up through the veins in the back of your arm, and there's like this shadow sort of bleeding away, kind of like a really black watercolor, just like pulling, and then just like fades slightly. You just see this line running up the back of your arm, just like branching out over the top of your shoulder, and then just like disappearing behind your back.
Well, that was terrifying and weird. What was that all about?
Making you a better conduit.
Oh, good. I like conduits. I always said to my old man, one day I'll be the best conduit of dark forces.
Mechanically wise, I'm going to be updating the way corruption works.
Cool.
Because I've been needing to rework that, and this has been my way thematically to do that and give it a bit of a.
It's like poking at the spot where it went in, just being like.
Every time you sort of touch the skin, that area sort of turns black, kind of like when you press against your skin as a actual like flesh and blood human. It goes a little bit white around the edge, and then just like the color returns. Except when you do that, it's almost like a bruise spreads underneath your finger, but it's like more like ink.
Cool.
And then comes back to your pallid tone. Yeah.
Neat. That's it's gonna be cool. That's gonna be thank you. Like deeply exaggeratedly bows.
Just in time, when that other book returns to its owner. And I say when.
Mm-hmm.
If you two decide to start actually working towards the same aims, you should be able to communicate through those books.
Interesting. He seems like kind of a dick, really. I mean, I'm clearly like the nicer guy of us two. I think you know, if you were like to like prioritize sort of mentally which one is your favorite, like clearly it's going to be me, right? Like not that.
You're definitely the most entertaining.
See, that means he likes me. That means I should go.
You've got some catching up to do, though.
I should go. And like corrupt. I should go and get on that whole corrupting the material plane business. This material plane isn't gonna corrupt itself.
While you're out there, you should probably try some improv classes.
Yeah, and
I get it.
all right.
On you go then.
This has been cool. This has been cool. Bob. It's me, the cat from earlier.
And Bob sort of slides the thing over and is like, "How's it going in there, buddy?"
Oh, really good. I just got to get out of here right now. Please. Just look.
Just now.
I gotta.
You don't want to decide whether you want to come in or out.
No, I'm pretty
Are
sure.
you understanding the cat thing yet? Do you understand the cat thing? Tell me you understand the cat thing.
Look,
I
I already
did not-
told you I'm a cat. Stop it.
All right then. Click. Opens the door up. Come on there, kitty.
Like instantly, like it scoots through.
Yeah. I try and run from a room with a spider in it.
That wasn't cool, Bob. I'm gonna tell Hrothgar some made up shit that's bad about you. Yeah. And he'll believe it because I don't know, he's dumb and he believes the things I say for some reason. Turn on his heels and walk away.
And he says, you're walking away, he's like, oh no, kitty has claws. Is there anything you wanted to do before we finish up?
No, I
No?
think
You think you're good?
yes.
Because I think we've got Bardic College things to do next time round.
Yes.
And you've got a kitty. This has been a cat themed one. This has been a cat themed one.
There was a thing that
Yes?
just made me think of in the course of that. So I have like 5th level spells now, right?
Sure.
The one that I had swapped out, I swapped one of my 4th level spells out for a 5th level spell. One of the ones I was looking at, and I almost took, and I haven't used any of them yet and everything. One of them is scrying,
Oh, damn. Yeah, okay.
and I just
Brian's a good one.
yeah, and I just thought for the just relating to those purposes and that thing that might actually be like maybe that one as a thing to I have the book and if the book disappears I can scry on where Craven is and that sort of thing. I just thought that might be appropriate because I had taken one called Synaptic Static, which is a psychic bomb.
It's also cool.
Yeah. But then the other thing is a next level up I get another spell anyway, so I can probably just do that.
At the end of this whole arc thing as well,
Yeah,
where
you
I'm planning
said
to
that.
do the second.
I'm pretty sure at the next level up I
anyway.
get another spell and a Mystic Arcanum, so there's shit going on.
Mystic Arcanum.
That's a weird. It's a warlock thing. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Yeah, wizard thing.
Powerful wizard thing.
Look. I just entered into a corruption bargain with an elder god avatar. We could drop the pretense in this place.
In this room, we know you're a fucking warlock. Yeah. With that, I think we pick everything up next session. Thanks for listening to Heimdall's Watch. You can email the crew at isolatedcitygaming@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Isolated City Gaming. We're also available across multiple platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube. Search for Isolated City Gaming or Heimdall's Watch, and then hit that subscribe button. See you out there, folks.